This is a brief video about how to find and identify empirical research. In this demonstration, I'm going to use Education Database to look for peer-reviewed articles on foster youth and their college experiences. This first article looks promising, so I'm going to look at it more closely. Remember, the first place to look to see if an article is about empirical research is the abstract. If we skim, you can see here in the middle it says, employed thematic analysis to explore Massachusetts foster youth's academic challenges and supports through interviews with teachers, foster parents, and former foster youth. These authors have collected primary data by conducting interviews. Their research would be considered a case study, which is a type of empirical research. Now let's look at an article where it's hard to tell from the abstract if empirical research was conducted or not. When we skim this abstract, it makes references to the lived experiences of foster youth and their educators. Being aware of other foster students, the ability to connect with another student, teachers and educators developed awareness. However, it is unclear how the authors gathered this information, what their research methods were, and what data they collected. So let's look for a method section. This article continues to be a little confusing because there is no section explicitly titled Method or Methodology. However, we see sections called Participants and Instrumentation and Measures, among others, which describe how the authors use surveys and interviews to collect primary data. So this is empirical research, even if it was hard to tell from the abstract. Finally, let's look at an article that does not describe empirical research. From the title, this article seems promising. But when we take a look at the abstract, we see that it says, this study uses data from the National Youth and Transition Database. So these authors use secondary data from a database that they did not collect themselves, and this would not count as empirical research. And if we scroll down to see if there's a method section, this paper actually does have one, but it is one sentence long and says very clearly that the authors use secondary data, so that confirms that this does not qualify as empirical research. Remember, if there's no section at all where the authors describe their research and data collection methods, it is definitely not empirical research. Hopefully this tutorial will help you identify empirical research on your own. Remember, read the abstract and look for a method or methodology section. That's where you'll get the information to determine whether the authors collected primary data themselves or used secondary data from other sources. Good luck with your research!